Hello, hello. Okay, I think it's working now. Alright, welcome to Marvel Millennium, episode 10. A series where I'm running through every Marvel game starting from 2000, at least through 2009. We'll see how I feel when I get up to there. This is, like I said, number 10, X-Men Reign of Apocalypse for Game Boy Advance. This came out a week after the previous game, Spider-Man Mysterio's Menace, so it was a good couple of weeks for a Game Boy Advance owner who likes Marvel games. How long to beat has this game at? An hour and a half, which is what it also said for Mysterio's Menace, and that took me closer to 2 hours, but I also had to restart the game due to some issues, so that could factor in. I also had some issues getting this game to run at all. And so I'm going to get started instead of taking any more time here at the beginning. Alright, it has started, just waiting for it to pop up on the stream. Actually, I think I need to fix that too. How about that? No, still nothing. What's happening? Oh, there we go. Perfect. I had it and I broke it. There we go. Okay. Make it just a little bit bigger. And can get started. I already looked at the manual a bit. There wasn't anything super interesting in there. Other than the fact that jumping is the right trigger, which I think is a little weird, a little uncommon for a Game Boy Advance game. Usually just be something like A, but that's fine. Also, this game got mixed reviews. I think not quite as good as the previous game. Criticized for ending too quickly and having simplistic gameplay and ending. So, not a great review for that, but hopefully it's fun either way. Yes. Player select. Okay, so I can already just pick someone to play as. Wolverine, fast healing, metal skeleton, razor sharp claws, is comic accurate height 5'3". Storm, ability to control weather. Cyclops projects energy beam from eyes. Not a laser. Rogue, super strength, absorbs mutant power. Curious how that would work out. And back to Wolverine. I'll just start with Wolverine. Returning from a journey to the Mojoverse, the X-Men enter into a space-time portal aboard their trusty plane, the Blackbird. As the portal shimmers before them, they see the X-Mansion appear on the other side. The team is relieved to be returning home at last. As the Blackbird slides through the portal, an unexpected shockwave sends a jolt through the spacecraft. "What was that?" says Storm. The X-Men watch in horror as their home, the X-Mansion, transforms into a broken and battered version of its former self. Little do they know that they have been transported to a sinister, twisted mirror of their own world. Apocalypse is the ruler on this world. Former friends are now foes. The X-Men will have to use every scrap of courage and strength they can muster to find their way home again. How hard can it be, right? "What the?" says Cyclops. "Professor X, come in. Anyone?" "Great heavens," says Storm. "The mansion is in ruins. What happened here?" "Nothing good by the smell of things," says Wolverine. "Let's have a look around." "Cyclops?" "What is it? Oh, my. Scott, you may not want to see this." "Oh no. What did they do?" "What's got you all riled up?" "I'm afraid it's you, buddy. It's a dead body that looks and smells just like you, buddy. Whoever did this is gonna pay." "Well, I hope this isn't an indication of things to come," says Cyclops. No time for chit-chat. We've got company, says Wolverine. And do we have company? Okay. So, little weird to be jumping with the trigger, but not too big of a problem. Can do kind of a combo, but only when there's someone to be hit. So that's cool. B does a different attack that I guess does more damage, but is so slow that it's just almost not worth it. Jumping up, there's an A attack, but not a B attack, it seems, when you're in the air. Okay, you can throw enemies. When they knock you down, it takes a kind of weirdly long time to stand back up. It just kind of happens automatically. Dash back and forth. I feel like in some of these handheld games where you play as Wolverine, they have him hunched over. It feels like their way to like replicate his shortness, but just ends up with a character model that would be taller if it was at its full height and not slouching like I'm doing now. Can definitely see what critics meant about like simplistic, repetitive gameplay. Not much happening here. It's just these two different types of robots, it seems. The red one's a little stronger than blue ones, but like none of them are that big of a problem. I get to move slightly more to the right. Doesn't really feel like it's not a combat system where I feel like I'm doing well. You know, it's a button mashy one, which has been the case for pretty much all the games so far, except I guess Blade, that was as a shooter that was slightly more complex, and Marvel vs. Capcom, of course. Other than that, kind of it goes along with just being sort of button mashy. Oh. Hello, Blob. Now, I'm not actually super familiar with the Age of Apocalypse storyline. I know it involves Apocalypse and a dark future for a lot of the Marvel characters, the X-Men in particular. Seeing Blob did remind me of Ultimatum, an event in Ultimate Marvel Comics, wherein a lot of dark stuff happens there too, including Blob eating the Wasp, which was especially grim. What did you do to the mansion, Blob? I'm not talking to you, musclehead. Find anything, Rogue? Well, I know this much. We're not in Kansas anymore. It's a terrible rogue, isn't it? What do you mean? Says Cyclops. According to these computers, the mansion was destroyed years ago. We must have somehow crossed into another dimension. So we need to find a way back to our own dimension? But how? Says Storm. It seems the X-Men from this dimension went to Wolvie's old stomping grounds to avoid the Sentinels. Maybe we can find some clues there. Department H, here we come. That's just what Wolverine calls home. Alright, so I guess that's the first level, and I get points, so you can power up. Interesting. Okay. Strength and... I'll just do strength. Just make me strong. Okay. Just had to hit start to continue. The entrance should be right over there. Look out, Wolverine. Looks like we've got company. Not quite the warm welcome I was expecting, but this should be more fun. I don't mind playing as Wolverine, of course. Would have been nice to have like some variety, like maybe get to choose. Yeah, nothing in the pod. Maybe choose like a new mutant at the end of the level, or at the start of the new level. I mean, I would like to see what it's like to play as the others. But if I don't, then I guess I just am playing through the whole game with whatever character I've chosen. Which, I mean, I guess that's one way to pad out playtime, make it so the player can't try another character unless they die or beat the game and start all the way over. Okay, so that's... I guess Wolverine's mutant power is just a better combo with his claws. Yeah, this is a bit repetitive. Can't imagine it's that much fun to watch. It's not a very cinematic type of fighting. It looks... The animation of the sprites looks pretty good. Like, you know, you can see Wolverine pretty well. This is the most defined he's looked in any of the games so far. So, like, you know, art design is totally fine. No complaints there. It's just, so far, not a lot of variety to the gameplay. Fight two types of robot and eventually Blob, who I don't think Blob hit me once. He was not especially hard to deal with. Basically, the worst that happens in these fights is you get, like, stun locked for a second, knocked down, and then it takes you a couple seconds to stand back up. Oh no. And yeah, his Wolverine's mutant power special ability is just a slightly better combo than the standard one. So that's not especially exciting either. Doesn't even seem like I can get two of them at the same time. I don't especially want to, you know, start the game over just to play as another character. I guess if I die and it lets me, maybe it'll let me choose another character and just start in the same spot. That would be nice. Otherwise, I guess if I can beat the game in this one run, I'll play that first level again as the different characters just to see what they can do. It does seem like that's going to be the case. If fighting the Blob immediately, you know, just after that next level, no new character selection. I am not expecting that to be any different for other bosses. I guess we'll see. It's a new type of enemy at least. Nice and green. Oh. Well, if you start doing your special move, you can't stop it, but someone can walk into it. So, that helps. Yeah, the movement from left to right, like, you know, every time I beat a handful of enemies... Okay, well, now I'm getting stuck. Every time I beat a handful of enemies, it lets me move slightly to the right, and it's so little, it feels like it's barely the length of the screen, which I guess is not entirely uncommon for this kind of side-scrolling beat-em-up. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot of strategy I even could have. Cable, what's wrong? What's the matter, buddy? Okay, so he gets a special move too, a nice little claw. Not especially aggressive, though. And, you know, it's a 3D game. You can... good thing they never changed the locks. You better lead the way, sugar. With pleasure. It's, you know, 3D, so I can move forward and back within the screen, but it's... And it seems like that's, I mean, useful. I guess I wonder if the mutant power would actually change at level 2, 3, 4. I kind of doubt it, though. Yeah, anyone with a ranged attack now. Wait a minute, I smell something. We got company, boys and girls. You have trespassed on his High Lord Apocalypse's grounds. Prepare to face Weapon Omega. Weapon Omega? Aren't these guys Alpha Flight? Looks like things are more different in this universe than we thought. Alpha Flight were our friends in our universe. Thank you, Scott. Well, these clowns are anything but. I think I got a new life. That's good. Or Weapon Omega supposed to be the green guys that I've already started fighting, or is yet another type of enemy about to appear? Yeah, not a whole lot of strategy that can be done here. You attack. Oh, hello, Steve Rogers. Wolverine was Alpha Flight, that's true. Just, luckily not this version, unless I am going to have to fight, Age of Apocalypse Wolverine, which, entirely possible. Have you played this game, yourself? Oh. Alright, even Wolverine isn't immune to landmines, which are now a factor. I guess this is the Weapon Omega within this game. On mobile, like a phone version? I'm not sure if this came out for mobile. I mean, you know, you can definitely play emulators on your phone too, I know. I've got a Game Boy Advance one. I did not play this when I was younger. Was not really aware of it. At least the slightly different enemy types have changed up the gameplay a little bit. Has been, as critics have put it, a bit simplistic in terms of gameplay. Runs pretty smoothly, which is nice, especially compared to some of the Game Boy Color games that came out a little before this. So I'd say this is the first game where it's actually enjoyable to be Wolverine, aside from Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Okay, well if you accidentally start running, it turns out it's kind of difficult to stop. There goes Sabretooth without really even getting to see what he could do. Now, do the enemies also trigger the mines? They do, okay. It'd be nice if I could turn around while doing the special move, but yeah. There we go. It's fairly easy to dodge bullets if you see them coming at all. Reminds me of the Moonanites in the Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Just a very slow bullet that will hurt you if you let it get it close enough to you. It's also, I guess, the first Sabretooth as a boss, first boss in the game where the level just kind of continues afterwards. Oh, hello Gambit. Okay, so we are fighting former allies turned children of Apocalypse, I guess. I do want to just let him just kind of see what he can do, but also don't want to risk dying and having to start the level over again. It appears that Apocalypse has created a warp gate and is using it to transport soldiers around the world. We must have gotten sucked into the gate as our portal took us home. We need to find the warp gate in order to get back to our dimension, but first we've got to stop any sentinels from tracking us. We have to get to the central dispatch base and destroy their communications grid. According to the data I downloaded, it's located in Colorado. What's the catch, Storm? It also happens to be the regional sentinel headquarters. Perfect. Just perfect. Doesn't seem perfect, but we'll be fine. I'll give him some more health and some more strength. Keep it even. Looks like Phoenix is one of the bad guys in this universe. That's not good. And out to cause some serious damage. Someone needs to get out there and stop them. There's nowhere for me to land. Your plane won't fly so well without a wing, will it? Says Phoenix. I mean, probably not. Can't tell if I dodged that by being too close to the screen or just by being short as Wolverine. Didn't do too much to give the background the illusion of movement here. Some of the earlier games did a better job of that, at least. Like having 3D objects in the background. But maybe that's intentional. Maybe Phoenix is freezing the plane. I'm guessing from the name Steve Rogers that you're a Marvel fan. Is that how you found the stream? Oh, and there's Phoenix. First time a boss shows up at the same time as some other enemies. I'm about to die. Did not realize I was that low on health. Now, how do continues start here? Do I just... Okay. I was hoping that would be the case. Just start right where I was. Okay, so she can explode in a radius. Seems a little unfair. Oh, come on. Gotta use my special mutant ability combo. Nice work, team. Without our quick response, the Blackbird surely would have crashed. Aw, shucks. It was easy. Right, Storm? Sure thing. Just a stroll in the park. Stage clear. Oh, and I got a bonus life. That's nice. Makes up for the one I lost. Okay, team. Once we're inside, we need to locate the central cooling unit. Destroying it will cause the main computer to overheat, rendering the base inoperable. Wolverine, see if you can bypass the alarm to the dispatch base and get us inside. Too late, boss man. The jig is up. Time to do this the old-fashioned way. Sentinels are big boys. Not sure which ones are supposed to be stronger. The blue indigo type armor or the purple. Maybe neither. Maybe they are equal. Based on the pace so far, I believe that this game would indeed be about an hour and a half. But I don't actually know how many levels there are. I didn't check that ahead of time. Do Sentinels cry in pain in any version of the comics or any other adaptations? Seems not really their style. It's unfortunate there's not a lot to really commentate on here. It's just kind of the same thing every time. A couple new types of enemies. Don't get any new abilities or, you know, strategies or anything. Not that I expected that from this game, but yeah, it is a bit repetitive. Not a whole lot of options of how to attack. Heavy attack, which is just slow enough that a few quick attacks are always better so far. And the special power, which is just a fancy combo. That's pretty much it. I will try playing as the other characters. Okay, now nothing's happening. Someone off screen. There we go. Oh, and Juggernaut. Using my special combo on a boss as... Okay, that's weird. Game might be glitching out a little bit. Seems better now, though. First boss to take me down. Okay, yeah, the emulator is slowing up a bit. Not sure what's going on there exactly. Juggernaut is more aggressive than any of the bosses so far. Has some stronger moves that are sending me flying, at least. Wow, okay. It seems every time he does a one of his big attacks, the emulator just kind of slows down a bit. Maybe not any time, but it's more often happening when Juggernaut doesn't attack than any other gameplay, so. Dandy, sugar. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. I'm bored, boss man. Can we go find some real competition? Guess we'll see. Juggernaut put up a fight, though. I feel like vitality and strength is just the way to go. What we need to... blah, blah, yeah, but who knows where it is and how will we convince them to tell us? Looking for the warp gate. Forge. Of course, but how can we find it? Not a problem. I can use the Blackbird's main computer as a mini Cerebro unit. He's here in the underwater complex. One problem, though. Magneto's with him. Don't worry, Rogue. I'm sure old Helmet Head will listen to reason. I'm not sure of that. Okay, so far I've mostly been fighting robots. These just appear to be guys in suits. Also, I know that I've noticed a time, I guess extra time power-up, and I don't think I've needed one yet either. I haven't been paying super close attention to time, so maybe. More slow guns. That kind of look like Power Rangers. This is a Game Boy Advance. It's not the highest fidelity graphics of video games, but you can still make out the abs on their uniforms, which is important. Too much time is spent just waiting for Professor X to tell me I can move the next 5 feet into the room. I feel like a special move should attack behind me too. Just do like a whirlwind of blades. Found these Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games of this era, the Marvel ones at least. They tend to go kind of the Sinister Six route, and each game has about 6, maybe 7 bosses. And so I've fought who so far? Sabretooth, Cable, Blob, Phoenix, Gambit, and Juggernaut. What, 6 already? So not done yet. What is this siren? Is that just part of the music? Or is it a warning of more enemies coming on? Can't tell. At least they stay close enough together that I can just claw them all at the same time, most of the time. do wonder for the animation of these games. Any licensed game, I guess, but like especially the earlier ones with more 2D art, if they get, you know, active comic artists of the time to make the sprites, make sure they're comic accurate, or is that a, you know, just an in-house video game thing of whoever Activision or whoever it is has do their art. You know, here's a comic book. Get the colors right. Get the general shape right. I'm checking the credits at the end if there are any recognizable artists, but I feel like it's probably a separate team. They do sometimes collaborate with, you know, people in the comics industry for story at the very least, though a lot of these early games don't have much in the way of story. Okay, that is a more frequent trap than I expected. Now it's going to be just there in the middle. Okay, perfect. Like I'd expect, you know, a couple of seconds between the flames so you can time it out easily, but it didn't go super well for me. Uh-oh. Controller froze up for a second. Alright, well, I guess on the bright side, they just... No, they can get through. Hard to tell where the hitbox is for... Oops. For the trap. Is it just a matter of walking in between them, getting that lined up right? Maybe. Going above them doesn't work. I feel kind of hemmed in here. Yeah, it feels a bit slow. All right, don't even get near the fire. Feels a bit slow when you're just stuck on the side here, nowhere to go yet, and you have to wait for the enemies to spawn before you can even get permission to move forward. But then there are waves of them, so you can't fight your way through them all at once. You have to fight two, and then fight two again. There we go. Another 5 feet forward. Oh, Magneto. Seems like this should be a pretty easy fight for poor old Magneto, so clearly he's letting me win. He might have been letting me win. He did not move. Forge, can you help us? My name is no longer Forge. I am called Genesis now, X-Men. You are correct to seek me out. I created the Warp Gate. Apocalypse has been hunting me ever since he forced me to make the Warp Gate, because only I know how to destroy it. Well, you can't destroy it yet. We need to return home to our own dimension. I will tell you what I know, but you must promise me that you will use this code I am giving you to destroy the gate after you have passed through. We need your help to save our world from the reign of Apocalypse, once and for all. Yeah, you said the title. We'll do our best. Stage clear. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Vitality and Strength. Mix it up a little. Are you sure this is the right place, Cyclops? Genesis, said that the location of the Warp Gate could be a Hellfire Club, so let's get to it. I knew we couldn't get there without a fight. Yeah, but it would be real nice if we could once in a while. Where is the Hellfire Club? Is that just also in upstate New York? And are these robots or very creepily identically dressed men? because the faces look Caucasian. They are not the same color palette as the rest of the body. And also they are carrying what kind of just look like police batons. So, yeah, I think Apocalypse may have just found a local police department and dressed them up in spandex after he took over the world. So I'm just fighting the entire remnants of the Rhode Island PD. Should be able to clear them all out by the end of the level. Spike traps, okay. Like, they look like buff Teletubbies. Uh-oh. Okay, that was... My controller's not working. One moment. Can I pause it? Okay. Sorry about that. Something's going on here. I am not sure if I can configure my controller while the game is playing. I'm going to save real quick, just in case. Yeah, it is not letting me do anything, so I'm going to shut this down real quick. Restart it. Hopefully that'll fix everything. Hey, there we go. Well, hopefully I didn't lose too much health from just being helpless to the Rhode Island BDSM Teletubby Patrol. The psychic damage is immeasurable, but, you know, Wolverine still got some health. Thankfully, they are no smarter than I am and willingly walk into traps, like I do. Like those, which I definitely noticed before I walked over them. Bummer about Nightcrawler, though. He was always one of my favorites. He is, not Bamfing at his best. Oh, okay, that was pretty cool. That must be his special ability, which I guess maybe everyone has just a special combo as their ability. And Wolverine's is not super exciting because he doesn't have any visually distinct kind of thing to do aside from his normal claws, but that's not his fault. this just the Eiffel Tower? Is that where we're supposed to be? A lot of very, very large metal structure in the background. Okay, Psylocke. So even in Game Boy Advance, much lower resolution graphics, they still take the time to give Psylocke a good side boob there. Which is also important. I've got it. The warp gate is in San Francisco. Let's go. I think everything's coming through okay. Okay. My streaming software is also frozen now, which is not completely frozen, but just the webcam at least. Weird. But not a big deal, so we carry on. Hate to be disagreeable, but this doesn't look like San Francisco, boss man. We've got to draw off some of Apocalypse's force before we can assault the warp gate. Let's do this by the numbers. We wreck some of Apocalypse's other bases and the power supplies to draw off troops from the main base where the gate is located. Then we go in for the kill. Wrecking is what I do best. There is a geothermal tap here that Apocalypse is using to power his Sentinel bases. Let's blast it sky high. Let's. The Savage Land. These guys love traveling in numbers. Oh, I do have an attack that goes both ways. Just like Wolverine. There's a good number of enemy types by the end here. There are usually, an enemy type with 2 or 3 variations. Weapon Omega, Sentinels, regular robots, BDSM Teletubbies. But still, not a whole lot of variation in the actual way of handling them. Just mash claws on them until dead. Most of them are pretty easy to stagger with attacks, which is nice. Sauron, but not the Lord of the Rings guy. The one that wants to turn people into dinosaurs. Come on, a little closer. Come on. He's not doing much, he's just kind of flying around in his dinosaur loincloth. Which, is that like just a trapping of his humanity? He still feels the need to wear clothes, because pretty sure pterodactyls didn't have external genitalia, so At most he's covering up his cloaca, which he may be ashamed of. I don't know. Now see, this seems like a more reasonable place for spike pits. Oh, beast, no. It does seem kind of at home here, though. He's so happy he's breakdancing. It's weird that I have not played this game before, honestly. It's, feels like it would have been in my wheelhouse. There goes the power for his bases. Now let's take out his main satellite transmitter at the Statue of Liberty. Seems like I just kind of fought beast. That should draw some attention. And a bonus slide. How nice. Everyone remember to wait for the signal. Here goes nothing. Oh, another level that just takes place on a lift. They are, you kind of feel them running out of ideas here. First it was a Sentinel factory, now it's the Statue of Liberty. But what if we get to the top and she also has the face of a Sentinel? What is Apocalypse's goal, anyway, in, like, in any of his storylines, I guess? Is he a typical, I just want to reshape the world in my image kind of guy? Like, where's the fun in that? You just want to kill everyone, and then be leader of what, exactly? Uh-oh, it's Colossus. And once again, there are a lot of other enemies out here at the same time. Which at least makes it interesting. A lot less tedious when you gotta kind of watch a number of enemies at the same time. Colossus got a little stuck there for a second. But I can still throw him, which seems to imply like I'm stabbing him with the claws, but not sure that would work. Actually, now I'm curious, what metal is Colossus made out of? It's not adamantium, but is it just like some sort of organic steel? Something like that? So maybe Wolverine could... shoot. Should buy some more time. Accidentally skipped some dialogue. All that's left is destroying the cloning plant in Genosha, then home sweet home. Alright, well, I've given an idea of how much is left of the game. Guess I could be making my mutant power more powerful, but I don't know if that's worth it. Why is it whenever Wolverine's in charge, we end up swimming through polluted waters and climbing slimy pylons? Because it works, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The mutant cloning plant is right over there. Ready? And willing. Let's destroy this disgusting body bank. There are fewer guards here than the other installations. Looks like our plan is working. We can hit the warp gate once we finish these goons off. So many goons. And like, what do they get out of serving Apocalypse? Just not dying? That would be pretty nice to not die, I guess. But, you know, it's kind of happening anyway. I don't think there's any friendly fire, unfortunately, so I can't trick them into hitting each other. Just can trick them into walking into traps sometimes. I think that siren whooping really is just part of the soundtrack, not indicating anything. Suplexing the sentinels is pretty satisfying, at least. I could use some health right about now. I don't know that that'll happen. Whoa. Not this time. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Oh, got it. Just in time. Now see, they can go through fire just fine. Not a lot of variation even in just enemy death screens. Also, gonna be honest, the first time I saw the little Professor X go face, I thought it was Iceman. Which, I guess it could be, haven't seen him in this game, but I think it's probably Professor X. Ooh, close one. Okay, hello, there we go. Sure. Just let me move forward after killing everyone on screen, please. And also give me some health. Yeah, there we go. Now I'm all better. Boss fight. Hey, Silver Samurai. He is flashing. Now he is dropping bombs. It is a little weird to have a character who is no. Warp Gate, here we come. Next stop, San Francisco. A Japanese character who is aesthetically very linked to like the rising sun and traditional Japanese culture. Dropping bombs as one of his attacks. Maybe not a great choice. He's using people for fuel? Fuel for what? I shouldn't be shocked, but I can't help myself. Apocalypse is nothing but a self-serving tyrant. He's using them as fuel to power the Warp Gate. We must free these people before we leave. Again, warping to where and why. Are you with me, X-Men? Do you have to ask, sugar? It's what we do best, bub. The madness must end. Stage 11, the Golden Gate. And do we think this is going to be the last level, or is this just the path to the last level? Could go either way. It does feel like I'm a little stronger every level, like the same types of enemies go down a good bit faster. Okay, it hurts me to do that attack. That does both sides. That is... feels like that shouldn't be the case. He's just swiping his claws in both directions. If you wanted to use some of the blue bar like that, that'd be fine. I feel like that didn't even move half the screen. Like half the screen length. Oh, Archangel. Clawed him up real good. Clipped his wings. Oops. I'm always running onto landmines. Yeah, the power of police batons and pistols. feel like Wolverine's hitbox for getting hit by the bullets is a little bigger than his 5.3 frame. It's not a total odd job effect like in GoldenEye. Dummies. I would never run into a mine. I haven't really said much about the music, aside from those police sirens earlier, I think being just part of that track. It's fine. It could be worse. I mostly just am not noticing it. Which is the goal of a lot of video game music, to just fill the silence without being obnoxious, just kind of blend in. I don't think they've done any variation on the X-Men animated theme that I've noticed. I feel like that's usually a direction they try to go. But yeah, it's fine. It's totally serviceable Game Boy Advance music. How long is this bridge? The Golden Gate Bridge, it can't be that long. Usually tell you're about to fight a boss when you get to go farther than just half the screen. And that's Bishop. I feel like most of the bosses have been allies of the X-Men turned bad. Not all of them, but a good number of bosses so far. I have basically no visible health. And there it is, I was gonna say. Can I defeat him before I get hit a single time? Turns out no. But right after, with full health. I can do that. Great work, team. Now these people should be able to free themselves, thanks to our efforts. I'm inputting the code for the warp gate's self-destruct mechanism now. Well, surely we have to fight Apocalypse himself. I guess if I had done all Vitality or all Strength or all Mutant Power, I could have filled it up by now. Don't know what effect that would have exactly, but... This doesn't look like the right place. Doesn't smell like it either. We're on the Flamin' Moon! I thought we were being sent directly to our own dimension. The warp gate probably only works by line of sight from the moon. Troops are sent any place on the Earth from the gate here. There must be a main warp gate that can get us home from here with a little tweaking. Let's find the gate and get out of here. Blue area of the moon. So I guess, the characters were mistaken that the game was almost over. Good to know that Wolverine knows what the moon smells like, though. And not sure why bombs are falling this time. That seems like just a really bad occupational hazard of working on the moon. A lot of pink in the level design, I'm noticing. Kind of like it. Okay, I've done a couple moves now as Wolverine. Like that. Okay, I guess I'm kind of figuring out how to do that now. It's kind of a, sort of feels like a Street Fighter move, like down forward attack. Get you some good distance and knocks over the enemies, so not bad. Haven't needed it until now, so it's not like it's super necessary. But good for closing distance. These guys look like scuba diving Power Rangers, basically. Very like Super Sentai type costume. A lot of holes. Don't care for that. Still feel like this could go either way as far as being the last level. Could be we fight Apocalypse on the moon. Could be the warp gate takes us to his actual base. But I feel like this must be the... Oh, there we go. Is that Pyro? He missed his cue. Also, seems like one of the worst villains to post on the moon. A place with, you know, it's going to have like an artificial, probably high oxygen environment, atmosphere. Like, you do not want flames, open flames on the International Space Station, I don't believe. You know, not to mention the actual flame traps that are going off here, so I guess it is safe, apparently. There's not an issue. The big old Apocalypse head in the background there. Maybe that's what the flame traps are for. They're like venting off flames at regular intervals to make sure oxygen levels never get to a dangerous level. I don't know. Probably not. I doubt the game designers or even many comic writers at the time were thinking about that. Oh, some of the Apocalypse bases are damaged. He's not gonna like that. I don't think I realized until this level that these guys had flamethrowers. Must have always just taken them out fast enough to not matter. It does seem weird that Wolverine flying claws out at someone would knock them into the sky instead of just impaling them. Not that I'm second-guessing Wolverine. He's the best he is at what it does. Oh, nope, don't get to go through there. Just, hey, there he is. And he can throw buzzsaws and make illusions. And glows like circuitry. Is Apocalypse large like that in comic adaptation? Because he is still, I was going to say only human, but not human, but mutant. But like, he's just a normal person-sized mutant, I thought, but maybe not. Well, good thing I leveled up strength, because I'm almost taking down this godlike mutant in very short order. I think we finally found the gate that we've been looking for. Let's go home, X-Men. Just one last thing, boss. What did you do, Logan? Initiated Genesis' self-destruct program. You know, the thing we promised we would do. A portal opens on one end of the balcony and the battered X-Men step out. I suspect there is quite a story behind this, says Professor X. You don't know the half of it, Chuck. Ha 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 ha, laughs Cyclops, stilted. Is that it? That's it. Alright, that was X-Men Reign of Apocalypse. That was even shorter than expected. Gonna look for any animator names that I recognize, but not expecting to. Yeah, that was not great. I would maybe rate it under Mysterio's Menace, the last game I just did. Additional art. I recognize that. Yeah, I mean, like all these handheld games, doesn't age super well. It was... I guess I'm not going to stop now, because I do want to try out the other... every artist that worked on the X-Men comics was thanked. So, kind of hints at them not being officially involved. Contributing writer Todd Jefferson. So I saw Todd Jefferson in the credits of the last game and had to look him up because he was quoted as being a Marvel guru, I think. And I said I didn't know who he was, and he didn't have a whole lot to his credit, but I think he just had a couple names he was credited as, and was actually, let me see, I had this pulled up, director of games at Marvel Entertainment for a time. Nothing on this website that I'm looking at that credits him past 2014, though, so that may have been the end of his time there. The last Marvel game being Spider-Man Unlimited. But yeah, you know, this game doesn't hold up super well. It's not terrible, it's not the worst I've played, but it's not that fun. The fighting is very repetitive. I'll see if the other characters are less so, but I'm guessing they are just a different kind of repetitive each. This isn't really something that would be that fun to play for most modern gamers, I think. Yeah, critics pointed out the simplistic gameplay and ending. Yeah, the ending was pretty abrupt. They do have multiplayer now. I don't know if you have to do a link cable for that. Don't want to try that on the emulator because it's not going to work either way and might just mess things up. Okay, so there's no loading an old game, just continuing. So, alright. So next, let's try Storm. I'll go ahead and skip through the plot stuff because it appears to be the same. Just want to see what her moveset is. She floats around instead of walking. Has her own little combo move, which looks pretty cool. But is functionally, you know, the same It's like the same moveset, just looks different. Instead of diving like Wolverine did, she sends out a ranged little twister. So that is different. But otherwise, like, has a heavier attack that is slower, plus the regular combo. Does have a jumping attack. Yeah, the ranged move seems to be the biggest difference. I'll wait till... I guess I can try to go as far as the Blob and see if I can use my special move on him, but honestly I might just get tired of waiting for that since the progression is pretty slow. So let's see what the special move does now. Okay, so that is functionally different. It's seems like it just did a good bit of damage once on either side of her, versus Wolverine's just being an extended combo in one direction. Alright, I'm going to try another character now. Next up is Cyclops. It looks real grumpy. Alright. So far, all the characters have a combo when you just do a light attack multiple times. Cyclops doesn't even seem to have that. Unless I'm just doing it wrong. His beam attack is like his... Oh. And he also has a... Like Storm, it's a ranged attack, not a diving attack. The B attack, which is just his stronger, slower attack, is faster than the other characters, and also a little weaker. I'm gonna see if I can get close enough to pick them up. There we go, so he can still do that. Looks like he slightly hit them with his beams when he throws them. But yeah, not having any sort of combo is... Either that's just not working, or that's like just a weird choice. Feels like they gave up on writing him. Let's see what his special is. Okay, does a lot of damage in a straight line, so more range than Wolverine's, but only single direction. Not that exciting. Oh yeah, I can do a jump attack, which is just doing the splits midair. Well, alright, that's Cyclops. What else we got? Still got Rogue. Oh, just Rogue. Alright. Well, let's see what she's got. Yada yada yada. She's got a real strut. Walks with one hand on her hip. Her hair flipping around kind of looks like... I don't know, reminds me of, like, I guess Lara Croft or like Cammy in Street Fighter. Her strong move is a headbutt. When she gets knocked down, she looks like a rag doll. Okay, so hers is more like Wolverine, where she moves with the attack, the special one. I believe I looked up some cheats before I started just to see what what they had, and it seemed like a lot of it was getting to play as some of the villains. So, I mean, I feel like there were so many villains that it's like there's more content in unlockable with cheat characters than just the standard characters. I'm going to try her special move. Okay, so another kind of area of effect attack like Storm. Nothing too exciting. Alright, now looking at the cheats, it's possible... I think it's Game Shark type cheats. And I don't know how to put those into this emulator. Cheats, okay. Ah, I think I figured it out. Alright, let's see. Don't actually know how to... I'm figuring this out. I don't think this is showing up on the stream, but it's like putting in 4 lines of code just to unlock the ability to do cheats, I believe. Let's see. Play as Wolverine, play as Storm, play as Cyclops, play as Beast, play as Club Thug, play as Acolyte, play as Rogue, play as Colossus, Phoenix, Nightcrawler, Juggernaut, Sentinel, Silver Samurai, Cable, Bishop, Magneto, Sauron, Archangel, Pyro, Weapon Omega, a Ranger, Apocalypse, Blob, Sabretooth, Psylocke, and Gambit. Let's jump straight to Apocalypse, see what that's like. If that works. 6A6B8D6 and 474 7F090. Okay. Now, I don't know if the cheats will just be active or if I will have to start the game all over. Oh, I could have given myself more lives here. Okay, so he doesn't show up. I'm going to try turning off the emulator. Turning it back on. And loading up the game. Activision has been behind maybe every one of these Marvel games I've played so far. Okay, so Apocalypse still isn't an option. Will he just be the character I play as because the cheat is activated? Yes, he is. How about that? Okay. So the buzzsaw is like his ranged attack. Weird that I did only start with 2 lives though, and partial health. sure why that's the case. There is an infinite health sheet that I can use. Also, weirdly, he can't dash infinitely like the other characters. He just does this slide forward. But that's fine, because he's a big boy. His main attack just seems to be attacking with, like, the wires hanging loose from him. Can't tell if he's supposed to be doing, like, reality warping stuff here, where his hand comes out of the ground further along, or it's just the idea that he has technology buried everywhere. I don't know. And his special attack is that big hologram thing. Okay, so cool, I guess. I mean, I'll try one of the other, like I'll try Nightcrawler too, just to see if the cheat works the way I think it is. Nightcrawler, DD bed, 22E, 755E4, B42, obviously. Uncheck Apocalypse. Let's see if it just works right away, because now I know they don't show up in the character select, they just are who you're playing as. Hey, and it's Nightcrawler, look at that. Oh, when he dashes, it's also not continuous, but he gets to bamf. He doesn't seem to have a ranged dash attack. Apocalypse's was the buzzsaw on the ground. Yeah, he doesn't have a ranged attack, so it's like Cyclops doesn't have a combo, Nightcrawler doesn't have that particular kind of attack. It's weird what stuff they left out for particular characters. Unless I'm doing this wrong, but every other character has been pretty consistent in what they're able to do, or at least the types of things they're able to do. Just let someone come out so I can try his special, and similar to Wolverine, just an extended combo. Okay, so there are a lot of other characters you can play as in this. If this is a game you're interested in, get those cheats and play whatever character you want to play as, because playing as Wolverine is fine, but it gets old after about the first level. Some of these might be better for more variation further along. Beyond that, though, yeah, not a great game. It's like the other games of this era. It's slow, but also short, and there's not really a whole lot of combat or story. You're just, it is all combat, but it's not complex. It's just a lot of button mashing. So I would not recommend it. 1 star, not great, but some of the art design is pretty good. I like the way the sprites look. Backgrounds, they're colorful. I like the design of them, but they're just so static that it's kind of jarring after a while, I guess. Guess there's some, I can't really see it here when I'm not moving. I feel like some of the levels had more of a parallax effect in the background, where you can see the far background moving at a slower rate than the near background. Gives the illusion of depth. Don't remember if there's any of that in these other levels, though, so I'm gonna see what happens when I move to the right. Obviously, the background is changing as you're moving, but it's not. I feel like it's mostly stayed pretty static. Like when you fight on top of the jet to fight Phoenix, that's when it's especially egregious. Yeah, there's a little bit of a parallax there where you can see the clouds in the background are not moving. That's nothing. Mysterio's Menace had like 3 layers of background, at least in some parts, which gave it a lot more depth. But that is X-Men Reign of Apocalypse for the Game Boy Advance 2001. The next game on the list, number 11, will be Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro for the original PlayStation, which is, I believe, should be much longer than the most of the games I've played so far. Similar to the first Spider-Man, which I did have to do in a couple of batches, but I feel like it was shorter than it purported to be. Blade felt like it took a lot longer. That was a bit of a slog. But Enter Electro is expected to be 7-ish hours, according to How Long to Beat, and I'm hoping that's not the case, but we'll see. But tune in next time to find out.